with scissors through them, with their faces mangled up and makeup and all this malarkey. Basically,
Welcome to episode 2 of AfterMat. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal. Alongside me, co-hosting, we have the Glamazon Delisha
Hi, how are you?
and the Hitman Eric.
Hey, what's up?
Tonight we'll be discussing WWE Payback, and it's the first Raw brand pay-per-view since the roster shakeup. And I don't know if they want to call it Payback because most people want their money back after the pay-per-view, or it's just payback after WrestleMania sort of resolutions. The one gripe I usually have about the first pay-per-view after every WrestleMania is that we usually have recycled matches. You know what I mean? Like we always see if there's a certain match at WrestleMania, we'll see it again at the first pay-per-view afterwards, and they'll just have the other guy win. Where it's not as big because it's not a WrestleMania win, but just to even up the odds or square things out. So that's like the criticism I usually have, a critique for like these first pay-per-views. I thought we'd see something fresh because we have the roster shake-up, so we could maybe see some new fresh matches, but they didn't really go that route, and the whole Bray Wyatt thing also kind of was weird to have Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton on it, so we'll get to that. But right now, I'm thinking I didn't really think that highly of it. I'll give my letter grade at the end of the episode, but I'll kick it over to Delisha. What did you think overall?
Overall, I was kind of pretty meh about it. There's maybe one or two matches that we'll get into later on that I actually enjoyed, and there were matches that I was like, oh, that was okay, and then there was others I'm just like, I could have done something else. So overall, it was just it was fine. Maybe if I had a couple of drinks, I might have had a better time, but I had work the next day, so I could not do that. So I just had to deal with what I had.
What about you, Eric?
I thought it was pretty terrible, to be honest. I'm with Cal. There was maybe two matches that I could say I liked. Don't even get me started on the House of Horrors. I can't wait till we get to that. But, yeah, overall, I was not a big fan of this pay-per-view.
What's weird is that I watched some reviews of the pay-per-view, and a lot of people liked it for some reason. I was wondering what they thought. They saw maybe it had some good build-up and stuff, and some people liked the House of Horrors, which I thought was ridiculous. But I mean, teach their own. It's just I don't know what they were thinking about that. So, but they thought they thought the main event was a good main event to have, which I don't mind the main event. It wasn't that bad, but I don't know. I just don't see it all coming together as a pay-per-view as a whole as a good pay-per-view overall. But we'll get into each match individually in a little bit.
Yeah, it just didn't jive for me as a pay-per-view at all.
And I don't know if you heard, but the new pay-per-view for Raw, the next one's gonna be called Great Balls of Fire. So I have no idea where they're going with that, what they're thinking. I think they got rid of Roadblock or something like that, which was a stupid name in itself. But Great Balls of Fire, I don't know. That's gonna get a lot of memes and all that going on.
They replaced a stupid name with an even
That's
stupider
just crazy.
name, which I know that's not a word, but it's like people keep saying on the internet. It's getting WWE's making it a little bit harder to convince other people of why you watch wrestling.
Yeah, and it's funny though. How they always make fun of Triple H. They jab him about always, at No Way Out, you'll have no way out. So what are they gonna say about Great Balls of Fire? What's gonna be their tagline for that, or have Triple H be like, "Sue, I'm gonna be kicking your stomach. You're gonna have great balls of fire." I have no idea how they're gonna pull that off, but he's not gonna be able to do
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
that. That's the only thing. And if that's not the official theme of Great Balls of Fire, what are they doing? I have no idea what's going on with them.
I like the movie, but as a title for this, I don't think it's going to work. Maybe they can make it work, but I highly doubt it.
So I guess we can start off with
It's weird.
the pre-match. I don't know if either of you caught the pre-match because I remember you guys messaged me. I don't think you saw it, but
I forgot about the pre-show.
yeah, it was Enzo Amore and Big Cass against the Bullet Club, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. It was a decent match. I don't think I remember any big spots in it at all. Pretty back and forth, and at the end, I think Enzo took it with a roll up. He rolled up one of the I forgot who it was, maybe Luke. Rolled up Carl Anderson for the win, and that was it. I don't really remember anything big about the match, anything spectacular. So also, I was like pretty much dozing off the whole pay per view. I remember telling Delisha that, and I actually fell asleep during the main event. I think it was. I'm not even sure which one it was. I fell asleep during,
Oh
but
yeah, I saw that DM. That was hilarious.
so I don't know if you guys have anything to say about the pre-show. I don't really have anything to say
One
about.
thing I will say
I
about
didn't see it.
yeah, the one thing, well, what I did catch, the only thing I caught was the Miz and Finn Balor's uh Miz TV segment, and I thought that was actually pretty good. You know, the Miz, he's really good as a heel. He knows how to get that heat and knows how to capitalize on it. And even though it ended the way all these talk show, and especially with the Miz lately, it was still pretty entertaining. So I enjoyed that much.
I like the Miz. I feel like the Miz doesn't get enough credit for it. I think he should get another main event push again eventually. But like they're trying to push all these other new people coming up, which we complain about that people not getting pushes. But Miz I think has really paid his dues coming from Tough Enough and all that. And even back his time in his real world days where he was like always wanted to be the WWE champion and his dream and all that. So I'm like proud of him. And like one besides Balor being a small, he's got the look, he's got the charisma and all that. He's got the fan attention, the fan draw. But like I don't think he's that great on the mic. But for Miz like pretty much carried that entire, besides like one or two phrases that Finn Balor threw out. Miz carried that whole segment, and like he can't do that. That's what Miz brings to the table. He's great on the mic. He's got great charisma. He's great in ring talent. So like he's a total package, I think. And I feel like people love to hate the Miz, but people do love him too because he's great overall as a person, like as a WWE superstar, and I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I personally love to hate him. He gets on my nerves. Even when he was on MTV, he got on my nerves back then. But I do agree with you. He's got the charisma, he's got the talent, and he did pay his dues. So he's someone I do enjoy watching, even though he annoys me. If that makes any sense. But yeah, it wouldn't shock me if that match was better than a lot of the other matches on the main card.
yeah, I would. I'm ready to see another push for the Miz. I think he deserves it, and not just for mid card. Even though both the mid card titles kind of need another push, but even for him going after the main title, I'd be down with that of him getting a push for that. We could take it off Orton and put it on Miz. I'm glad. I'll be happy with that one.
I think they're gonna push Miz to like give Balor a warm up match for when he goes back to the title because you don't want to see him get hurt again right away. Miz is like very good in the ring. I feel like he takes care of his opponent. Very technically sound. So you don't want to put him against Seth Rollins, who's pretty much injured everyone on the roster so far and still has a job because being Triple H's protege, he's gonna keep staying there. No matter what he does, he's like untouchable apparently. But you see, like he's been hurting people left and right. Like I'm so mad that he ended Sting's career. He broke Cena's nose, and he hurt Finn Balor. Like it's just terrible. Like seeing all this happen. So if a good tune-up match will be the Miz, who's good at like taking care of his opponents. But yeah, that was a great segment. I forgot to mention that the Miz TV, Maurice also plays a good dynamic in it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say. I mean, like I like to see a match between them. That's gonna be great. But I'm still waiting for maybe like I don't know who I want to see. Like Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar. That'd be interesting. I don't know how like true David versus Goliath. I don't know what's gonna happen there, but
yeah,
that would be interesting.
He did say he won his belt back, so we'll see how that one will build up.
So I guess we'll move on to the opening match. The card opened with Chris Jericho against Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. So this was kind of strange because we saw the match already at WrestleMania, and then they parted ways, right? Or it was Jericho was always on SmackDown, right? And
no, they were both on Raw.
Oh, they were both on Raw.
Both on Raw.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't Kevin Owens just move?
Yep.
Yep.
During the was it during the shakeup or was it during just?
Yeah. So then he was.
Yep.
So now he's on SmackDown, or is that?
Yes.
Okay, so Kevin Owens is on SmackDown now, but isn't? Oh, so Jericho's moving to SmackDown because the title
He won the
belongs to
title.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, it's because he won the title.
I
Yep.
can see
Right.
why it's so confusing because it's so weird because the superstar shakeup didn't really. I mean, it did shake things up, but we still have these previous rivalries to finish up before. So I can that it can easily be confusing. But
And what confused me about that is because the way they used to do it is, remember when they had the undisputed champion that moved back and forth between shows? Whoever beat him, that title would go to the show, not him go to the show that the title came from. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
that's why I wasn't sure about this whole Jericho Kevin Owens. So now that the title is exclusively SmackDown's title, that's why Jericho's going to SmackDown.
yes.
I miss when things were more simplified. I'm not gonna lie, I miss those days because now it's all confusing. SmackDown, this, that. It could get confusing, especially for someone who's a new wrestling fan.
Yeah,
I mean,
it and then it also doesn't help that well, I guess they're supposed to promote because you want everyone to watch, but if they still made it feel as if Raw was Team Raw, we don't even consider SmackDown a show, like there was an actual rivalry, even though of course there really isn't. Then it would probably be more simple because SmackDown will have their people, Raw will have their people, the 205 Live will have their people. Well, I guess that's their Raw people too, but and then things to be separate and we can just focus on the separate rosters, but because there's still that back and forth, we're still in that back and forth period, it's still difficult to be like, wait, isn't he on SmackDown, why are we talking about it? And yeah, so I feel like once I think hopefully after Payback we start getting into the feel of things of what this shakeup has done to the roster.
I always complain, and like, it's like an endless circle where they feel like we have like a lot of championships, and I like that we have that because we need like we always see like the Intercontinental as the mid card, and for people who are like building up, like it used to be like the cruiserweight or whatever title, like you start building up your rep or being a tag champion as well, then moving on to the mid card and being an Intercontinental champion, then eventually getting the world championship. So it's good to see that between both brands they have that hierarchy as it goes. But then they're like there's too many champions, and then they're like they unify the belts every once in a while, only to like split them. So it's like an endless circle, like a never-ending circle. Let's unifying the titles to dissolving the titles, or separating the titles. So I mean, right now I think let's just keep it how it is right now with each brand having its own title and or tier of titles, and then using that as a way of building up wrestlers. Now we know that the cruiserweight title is exclusive to Raw. So I don't know how they can do that for, and with NXT as well. They, that's another way to build things up too. But I don't know what they can do about the cruiserweight. Maybe they move them back and forth. Who knows? They might get rid of the cruiserweights altogether.
Yeah, the cruiserweight's definitely lost its luster and glory that it once had. It definitely doesn't hold the same prestige that it once did. So I could see them getting rid of it.
Well, maybe not at the moment because Neville has been killing it as a heel, and well, I guess we can get back into that later as we get on to that match later on. But I don't think the cruiserweights are going anywhere anytime soon. But like back to Owens and Jericho, I guess it's easy to like skip over it because we've seen them kind of go at it like back and forth a good amount of times, and I didn't really have much to say about this match. So for it wasn't a bad match. It was pretty good, and it was like we have I was like again with the finger on the rope shtick, and my second question was like, what do we do with Owens now? Like, is he just gonna go back for a rematch, or is he just gonna try and put himself in the main title contention? And what the heck are we doing with Jericho? Because I don't know how long he'll have this belt. Because he's apparently supposed to be going on tour with Fozzy, but we should.
I think he's going to drop the belt soon.
Oh, so you don't think he's going to hold the belt for long?
I don't know how they could do that with him. If he really that brings us to what happened. Jericho beat Owens with a what was it, Walls of Jericho, right? He made Owens tap out.
Yeah,
so
Owens sold that really well. He sold that hand injury.
Yeah, because he smashed it on the steel steps. That was like the one spot because they already had the spot with the one finger on WrestleMania, so using it again would be a recycled, angle. It wasn't they did something fresh with the breaking the.
Overall, I thought it was an okay match. I mean, it wasn't one of like the ones that I was like, "Oh, this is terrible." It held my attention. It didn't drag, which was good. My friend texted me. She liked Jericho's purple attire. She loves purple,
the bedazzled tights.
okay, man. And I agree with Lundell. I think I think he sold the walls of Jericho very, very well.
So yeah, so you think they might find a way to incorporate him going on a tour and having the belt? I guess Brock Lesnar does it, right? So why not Jericho? Jericho's earned it, don't you think?
But with the U.S.
Yeah, I'd
title,
like to see him hold on to the belt for a little longer than like just lose it right away.
yeah. But like I said, we don't know. I don't know what Fozzie's. I didn't look up Fozzie's tour schedule, so I don't know when that is. So who knows? And or maybe we might. He can. He's also great at helping the younger talent get over as well. So maybe he'll put someone over.
So
where he goes.
Who do you see him if he had to give up the belt? Who would you like to see grabbing the U.S. title to bring up? Some people say maybe Mojo Rawley, but I think it's too soon for him. Yeah, Shinsuke just got drafted to there or moved to there. So who would you like to see with that U.S. title? Maybe I'd like to see someone like I don't know who to give it to, but I'd like to see Shinsuke eventually beat that whoever got it. Shinsuke beat him to get the U.S. title. So who would you like to see with the U.S. title? Who would you like to see Jericho drop it to, basically?
That I don't know. I honestly can't even remember the whole SmackDown roster. But yeah, because Shinsuke seems to be building up that Ziggler and Shinsuke. Like that seems to be the focus they're going on. Owens was, he had just gotten it, sort of. So he didn't really get to do much with it, but he was great with the title, because he made, care about it. I'm the new face of America. That was great. So maybe see him get it back down the line. I'm not sure, but I don't want to see this flip flop back between him and Jericho again. Oh goodness, I don't know. I don't know. I would maybe see some of the top tier guys maybe take a step back and go for that title, put some relevance back onto it if they're not going to go with Owens, and then put more, and then put maybe bring a mid carder up to put them over. So maybe go that route. But the main thing is that these mid card battles need some more relevancy, make them appear like this is something someone will want.
I'm a little disappointed Owens didn't hold the title longer, because I agree with Dell. I think he was doing a great job, but then when he dropped the belt, and I agree with Cal. I don't think those guys that he mentioned are necessarily ready right now to take the belt from Jericho. It needs more. I'm trying to think like who Jericho should drop the belt.
Maybe Ziggler would be like a good person to take it, but then eventually lose to Nakamura. But I don't think they could drop it to Ziggler right away, because he's feuding with Nakamura now. So what do you think about a returning Cena taking the U.S. title?
True. Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Bring back those open challenges.
I could see that happening.
Because you said bringing legitimacy back, but then who better than Cena to do that, right? Because his big first reign was the U.S. title again. I think at WrestleMania 20 when he beat the Big Show for it. So,
and he is the one that kind of brought back that relevancy when he had it a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah,
no, it was a year
again.
Yeah,
he got it in 2015.
Okay, I'm getting fact checked that it was 2015 that he won it in 2015, and he had a good run with those open challenges, and it was like, oh, who's gonna come out? So he kind of brought some relevancy back to that. So yeah, that could work, and he hasn't been around since WrestleMania, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's about time for him to make a comeback. I mean, his movie's about to premiere, so he'll be doing promo for that. So he'll be back right after that time. So yeah.
So
it would make sense.
I'm thinking that I guess you could look at his Fozzy schedule. Maybe they're touring somewhere near every WWE SmackDown event or something. But he doesn't come that often. He's earned that time off and stuff like that. So maybe he'll have like a Brock Lesnar type schedule where he defends the belt once in a while. But if you want to really bring legitimacy on, you want to see the title there every week, at least shown off somehow. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I don't know who they could drop the title to, but I'd be interested to see where that goes.
Or if to keep Jericho back on the title reign for a little bit, have like some sort of like tournament for that will last them for a little bit, or maybe until the next pay-per-view. I'm not sure, and to bring up the next contender. That could extend some life for Jericho as well.
I like that idea. That's a good idea.
So that brings us to our second match, which is our second recycled match from WrestleMania. Austin Aries. Well, this was actually from the pre-show, but like we'll just say it's part of the card. Austin Aries against Neville, right? For
Purple
the
rope time,
cruiserweight
as I call it.
championship.
Purple.
And we had some like good spots, not like WrestleMania, but we had some decent spots. And I feel like Neville really plays his character very well, and Austin Aries can bring out the best in him. Their dynamic together is very good. Very good push pull between the two.
Yeah, if given a chance, these two are definitely top tier superstars. Well, Aries, of course, he's been all over. But in their current phase in the WWE, they're definitely top tier material.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good match. I love Neville. I can't deny it. But the cruiserweight matches, we just saw it. It just got kind of boring for me.
Yeah,
I got bored during the match.
They just did what I expected them to do. Just do great work in the ring, and I guess keep Aries chasing. Have Neville do his heel thing and keep the belt.
My issue with this,
you want to see something new though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I feel every match is like pretty much the same. The same spots you'll see from each wrestler. Like I don't see any new dynamics. Maybe they can make it a 4-way or a 3-way or something to change it up. Maybe a ladder match, something to change it up. But my issue with the cruiserweights is these guys are extremely talented, and then the cruiserweight division. What happens from there? Like, how are you ever going to push him to become a main event guy? Because Jericho put on weight since his cruiserweight days, and I started Rey Mysterio, but Rey Mysterio, I can still always see him as a cruiserweight. How are these guys going to be the heavyweight champion? If you ever, are they done? Is that their ceiling? They can't get past that because they're going to be cruiserweights?
I don't think so, on account of because technically Finn Balor can be a cruiserweight, but he's gone after the main title. I mean, I guess since the cruiserweights are associated with Raw, they can just show up in Raw, like, hey, I've been kicking ass on 205 Live. I think I deserve a shot at XYZ title or what have you.
Definitely Intercontinental U.S. title, but would you ever see them like it's like they are considered cruiserweights? So can you see them for the? Are they? Is it even called the heavyweight title anymore? Like I don't even know. It's like Universal Championship, and the other one is.
I think it's called the WWE. What's the Raw Championship called?
The WWE Universal Championship.
Okay, WWE Universal Championship. And then what's SmackDown's?
The WWE Championship, WWE World Championship, WWE.
See how confusing it is?
Yeah.
See, even my fact checker couldn't get it.
So if they don't ever use the heavyweight title, then if they don't ever use the heavyweight in their title, like in the name of the title,
there's no heavyweight in the title anymore.
All right. Well, it used to be. That's what it used to be called. So if they don't have it, then I guess anyone can go for it.
Things change. No. What's that, Eric?
What's interesting is WCW in the older days, they were able to have people in the cruiserweight division and then bring them up. Jericho was a cruiserweight champion. 6. There were so many of them. In WCW, they were able to do the transition that WWE now has trouble doing with the cruiserweight division. So they need to take a page from WCW's old playbook, I think.
But how many of those cruiserweights did you actually see go up? I can name Jericho, Rey Mysterio, if that, Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, I thought you meant currently.
No, I meant back then, because like people like all those people like Juventud and stuff like that. You didn't really see them go up, and like La Parca, none of those guys. Like it was just mainly those top tier. It wasn't as
Jericho, Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon also had like 17 belts at one point, so they're like he stood like
awesome.
He had like no limit to what he was, right? So Sonny Ono will come out like 47 belts on him, so.
And
they're heavy too, so jeez.
Yeah.
In order for the cruiserweights to be able to move on, they're gonna have to, of course, perform, which a good portion of them can. 2, they're gonna have to be good on the mic, of course. That's always a given. And 3, the crowd has to be into it, whether it's like a heel or if they're just over. Like the crowd has to like want to see them regardless. I could see if they don't go to Raw from cruiserweight, like go into like the Raw roster from a cruiserweight, and the next like draft or shakeup or whatever, getting drafted to SmackDown and then making a name for themselves in that mid card and then traveling up there. But yeah, like for me currently, I could definitely see Neville back in that contention because I can't remember if he's held the belt before besides cruiserweight? I can't remember.
NXT champion.
Yeah, the NXT Championship.
Well, I wasn't.
Oh, you
I
meant-
wasn't
you meant the
counting
main roster,
NXT.
main roster.
Yeah, I meant in Rain Star,
Okay.
but like he's
But he
because
didn't hold any other belts.
he has, like I said, he has great mic work, especially now as a heel. Definitely get the fans involved, whether they want to hate him or love him, and he's amazing in the ring. I could see maybe what's his name? TJ.
TJ Perkins.
Yeah, I almost said Parker. I was like, no, that's someone else that I know. If they change, they're starting to change him up a little bit, but I don't like how he's a heel and then has his like happy gamer music. Anyway, so he has potential. I do like what's his name? The gentleman, as they call.
Oh, Jack Gallagher.
Yeah,
Gallagher.
Gallagher. Yeah, he's entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And
Got an umbrella over.
and or as my boyfriend says, he gets an umbrella over. So, and I could see some of the more hard hitting cruiserweights like Drew Gulak. Gulak.
From Philly.
I'm doing really bad with the things, and he's from Philly, so like that's really bad. and some of the other cruiserweights who aren't necessarily the high flyers that people associate with the cruiserweights, but more of the hard hitting, wrestlers, so to speak. So I can see them.
Because,
They're good.
a lot of these
potential.
guys are so talented. They really are. So I hope they get it together and can transition them from cruiserweight to more mainstream because they're talented.
I will say of all the wrestling, because there is a lot now throughout the week that I have to try to get through. 2051 is probably my lowest priority.
I feel like Eric answered his own question about Ultimo Dragon moving to the heavyweight because he had so many belts that had added weight to him. That's
Literally.
what gave him the heavyweight title run. I feel that's what it was.
Yes, even the image of just seeing him with those belts, yeah, that was amazing.
I mean, the last time we saw something like that, I think, was when in TNA when Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe wrestled each other for all those belts, and Angle ended up having all the belts like in TNA at one point. That was pretty cool. So it's always fun seeing all that.
I was a big Dragon fan. I thought he was a great performer.
Yeah.
So
these two guys have great dynamic, and we're gonna see it continue because the way it ended is with Neville. Austin Aries having I forgot what the move is called, but he had him in his finisher, right? And then Neville pulled the referee back down onto him and caused a disqualification. So it wasn't a clean victory, but we're gonna see that match again, which I wouldn't mind seeing.
Heels gotta do what a heel's gotta do.
So that's why they always say like you gotta beat them by pinfall or submission, not by any other way. That's the only way we can get the title. So I like to see that. I like the dynamic. I just feel
the referee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my guess is the next match if they will have will probably be like anything goes, or you can't get disqualified to lose the title or something like that.
Or a three-way, because in a three-way there's not going to be a triple threat. There's not going to be any disqualification either, right? So I feel like they need maybe if they add someone into it, like Gallagher or somebody, that would probably put the match over the top, and we'll finally see Aries come out top, and then maybe him and Gallagher can feud or something like that. But that'd be pretty cool to see that add another dynamic to it, because I feel like they have a great dynamic between themselves. But like if you add one more thing to it, maybe that could put it over the top, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I'm guessing we're bringing to Delicia's favorite match of the night. I think maybe because it involves the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys defending their titles against Cesaro and Sheamus. I did like the match too as well, despite my feelings about the Hardy Boys. This was another, I guess, WrestleMania recycled match in a way, because the other way there was a fatal four-way, right, at WrestleMania for the title.
Mm-hmm.
So this was just a one-on head-to-head match. And the other two teams involved in the match were in the pre-show, right? So I guess in a way all these people are involved in the WrestleMania. So far, all the matches were pretty much involved in WrestleMania so far. But like, listen, this was a great hard-hitting match. There's literally hard-hitting because Jeff lost his tooth, but
he's toothless.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
it's probably fixed by now.
I was joking with Delisha. I'm glad you got your picture before this happened, because if anyone doesn't know, Delisha, I follow her on Twitter. She posted a picture of her with the Hardys. She saw them in the airport, right? Was it the airport?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
I was like, of all the things for you to see, like you see your favorites. That's a message.
I'm still riding that high.
Yeah.
No, that was
Yeah,
literally
when I saw that picture, oh,
the first thing my coworker talked to me about when I came in to work this morning. He was like, "Did you see Payback last week? I mean, last night." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Good thing you got that picture before that match." I was like, "Yeah, it's fine." But it's probably fixed by now anyway.
but overall, that was my favorite match of the night. The Hardys always bring it. That's why I'm glad they're back. But it was definitely entertaining.
I have to give to you guys, like, you guys love the Hardys. I'm not a fan, but they do bring it. Like that's two solid matches they've had in a row. WrestleMania was a solid match, and then last night was a solid match for them. And I have to agree with you guys. It's probably my favorite match of the night, besides the one we'll talk about after this for other reasons.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was gonna say I was with the match the whole time, and then I was like, oh, okay, so they're gonna win. So I just had the thought like, what's gonna happen with Cesaro and Sheamus to keep them going, and then they did that heel turn. I was like, yes, that's what they needed because they were gonna start getting a little stale, and I was like, no, they're too good together, and this heel turn is exactly what they needed to keep them fresh.
yeah, so the way it was a great match, back and forth, a lot of good spots, a lot of hard hits as we saw, and it ended with I think it was like Sheamus on top of Matt Hardy for the pin, but Jeff Hardy did a beautiful swanton off the top, landed on Sheamus, rolled him over because it was a blind tag or like a hot tag that was
Mm-hmm.
made during that, and it was a beautiful swanton that led to a pin and a clean win, like clean victory. So
No.
what?
Oh,
What?
fact check.
Oh no.
Oh
That's it.
no, that was talking to my cat.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought Cal's getting fat checked.
Yeah, I know. So we saw a clean victory, and we saw the handshake that we saw, and I thought the heel turn would happen there because like why would they do the handshake again if they already just showed that on Raw like a week ago?
Mhm.
So it was good that they waited and they gave it a second. And
Yeah,
and you're right. I mean, I like to see like these two split up because as singles they're great together. Sheamus and Cesaro, but I feel like Sheamus. I'm not Sheamus. Sorry, Cesaro finally needs that main event push. Maybe move him to SmackDown and he starts as the U.S. champion, and then from there he moves up to get the world title, the feud with Orton as the heel. That'd be good to see. But I mean, you're right. If they want to keep them as a tag team, they needed something fresh, and that heel team was done very well because it wasn't at that handshake that like the cliche always happening at the handshake, like slapping it away or kicking him in the stomach or balls or whatever. It was good that they did
Mhm.
it.
it was the perfect time to do it. It didn't feel forced. It felt natural. So I thought it was the perfect way to end the match.
Yeah, it also,
Right on.
in hindsight, makes those last couple of pinfalls that the Hardys got over them to feel like, oh, okay, yeah, you get why they would turn heel because they're frustrated. They really wanted those titles. They really needed that push, but they didn't get it. And it was like, you know what? Just all that frustration just bubbled over to like, we're just gonna kick your ass. So I was like, yes, this is great. I'm back involved. I'm back invested with you two. I need to keep seeing those twin dress ups that you guys do in the entrances. And I'm about to say another great thing that came out of this match is the back and forth Twitter between Matt Hardy and Sheamus because it's just hilarious. As people may or may not know, Matt is still in legal battles with TNA or whoever they're owned by now. Anthem, thank you. To get his broken gimmick to be his because he's the one who came up with it. And if you follow Matt Hardy on Twitter, the last couple of weeks he's changed his Twitter name about 10 times throughout the names that he's gone by throughout the his wrestling career. So he seems to be having fun with his broken gimmick on Twitter, and I love how Sheamus just called him what did he say? Oh crap. Yeah, Sheamus. I don't know what I can't see exactly what the whole Twitter trend feed was, but he says Sheamus goes, "Just don't go kidnapping any Dalmatian puppies and call him Gorilla because of the great streak." And it's so if
Good
you
on him for having fun
if
with
you
it.
follow them too on Twitter and see their back and forth, it's just great, more great heat for the matches to come.
And I think this is ultimately going to lead to the Hardys dropping the championship because I feel like Cesaro and Sheamus haven't had any championship for a long time, so I think they deserve it. I'd like to see them, if they want to keep them together, they should give them a reason to stick together, and that'll be becoming tag team champions. And I don't see the Hardys dropping into anybody else on the roster really. I feel like they can have like one or two good more matches with Sheamus, like finally dropping into them, and then going for a rematch to win it back, and maybe that's a proper send off. Or I don't know what they're gonna do with their contracts for now, but I feel like they could go into a big match at SummerSlam against another comeback tag team of, well, I can't say Edge and Christian because Edge is out of commission, but maybe another big tag team match like a ladder match or something with somebody, Motor City Machine Guns or somebody. Like they sign the Motor City Machine Guns or somebody like that. That would be cool.
Yeah, and the Hardys
That would be cool. I think they're going to hold the title for at least a little while. I don't think they're going to drop it like anytime soon, to be quite honest, because I think that WWE knows that. I mean, the contract thing, but they know they're popular.
Mm-hmm.
People love the Hardys.
And the thing is, they don't.
They're a big draw.
The reason why I wouldn't mind them dropping it to Sheamus and Cesaro sometime down the line is that technically the Hardys don't need it. They get a pop wherever they go, no matter what they're doing or what title they have or not have. They're charismatic enough to get themselves over.
I think what people like to see more than the Hardys having the championship is seeing like the hero chase the title. So I feel like if the Sheamus and Cesaro have it, people would like to see like the Hardys going back for it. That's why instead of holding, because like Alicia said, they have that draw no matter what. Them coming back, that draw is always going to be there. To see them chase the title and maybe win it again back at SummerSlam for one last big like hurrah that they won at a pay-per-view. I mean, they already won at WrestleMania, so how can you do better than that in a ladder match? But
kind of reminds me like of HBK. He didn't need to hold a title to get a pop. He didn't have to have a title. He just always would get applause every match he was in. You were so focused on, even if it wasn't a title match. So I kind of see what you're saying.
Yeah, at this stage in their career, the Hardys are there to help get the younger talent over. And that's what they did in TNA. That's what they've been doing in Ring of Honor, in New Japan, across the and different independents across the country. They've just been helping getting teams over. But they've always said they wanted to retire back home. So I think this is what they're here to do. They're here to get back in that contract so they can eventually retire where they started and help get some younger talent, put them over and get their names out there.
So does anybody have an idea of what kind of contract they signed? Is it a 1-year contract?
I don't know.
It can't be that long. It definitely can't be a long contract.
Usually they sign like people like that to a 1-year contract. Same thing they do with Brock Lesnar. They always get them from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. That's how it usually is. So I could see the same thing for the Hardys.
Does anyone have a long contract anymore? I feel like we're all
Randy Orton's probably signed till like 3014. So
yeah, I don't really look into the like contract stuff like that unless something comes up about them.
I think honestly, Randy Orton is the last long contract that they've done.
Oh, okay, probably him and Cena.
Yeah, they just seem to just want to do year to year to year kind of stuff.
Because I had heard the Dudley Boys had a 2-year contract with WWE from when they came back in 2015, and yet look where they are now.
Okay, apparently, according to my fact checker, that the Dudleys when they first came back, they had a 2-year contract to last until this year, but as we saw, that didn't happen. So, contract smack talk. I don't know. I guess it really depends on how things will go over with fans and how things go on behind the scenes. So I'm just gonna enjoy them while they're here.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys get like to see the people you love to like perform again. Like I love Kurt Angle. I'm glad he's back, but I want to see him perform because I like him on the mic. He's great as a GM and all that, but him in ring, I want to see that. I want to see that moonsault that never lands. I want to see maybe in this final match that moonsault actually lands. Him do it to like.
You know what? I will say, going back to Hardys really quickly because it just came to mind. We may see them off television, or maybe just Matt in a few months because his wife is pregnant with her second child. So something might happen where we might not see him for a little bit. Then again, I don't know how that will work out. Maybe he'll just be like part-time or something. I don't know. If
Jeff can stay straight, he's been doing fine. I think he had a better singles career than Matt Hardy. In WWE, I mean. So I mean, I feel like Matt Hardy, even when he went through version 1, he wasn't that popular. But his biggest time to shine was when he had the Edge Lita feud. That was his biggest like hurrah for him as a singles competitor. Jeff Hardy, on the other hand,
That
was
was good, dude.
yeah. Jeff Hardy is more successful as a singles competitor compared to Matt Hardy in WWE. I'm talking about. So if that happens where Matt Hardy has to go away for the baby, the paternity leave, and all that, um, I can see Jeff Hardy if he can keep himself straight,
No.
he could do a solo run for a little bit
I
until
would
Matt
say
comes back and Matt can come back and save him in a beatdown or something, and then they can go on with their Hardy gimmick.
Yeah.
But can he keep himself straight? I hope so.
Depending on this legal battle, maybe him being on television, or even just this him being knocked out by Sheamus, might even be a precursor to seeing that broken gimmick come into play. That's just I don't. That's just something to play around with. I don't know.
Alicia, aren't you like TSA? So like, can't you check Jeff Hardy's bag to make sure he didn't bring any illegal contraband in?
No, I don't work for TSA, unfortunately. I work just strictly retail.
Yeah, but overall, that was my favorite match tonight by far.
And it was nice to see a
Yeah.
clean win in the heel turn. I think that everything done about that match, the build up and all that until what they went to now, I think it was great. No complaints about
It's
that
a
match.
nice story, and
Yep.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
So that brings us to our next match, which was possibly my favorite match because it had my little Miss Bliss in it, my wifey number 2 on the WWE roster.
She's great.
I just love her entrance. I love her look. She got like the whole Harley Quinn kind of hair thing. I love that. I love the face that she makes when she's like the blissed off face. Like everything about her. I love Bailey. Bailey's adorable too. Like I like her gimmick. You know, she's great for the younger fans and like the girls aspiring to become wrestlers. She's a great role model in my opinion. And they're like I don't think they have that good dynamic together as we see with like Austin Aries and Neville. But it was a good match. I think it was a good build, not that great of a build up, but it was a good match to see them fight each other. And remember, Bailey was in her hometown of San Jose, so you know I think even Sasha Banks lost in her hometown. So I
And
guess
Charlotte.
and Charlotte, yeah. So they all have that in common now, right? So
Yeah, that's the running
It was-
joke. If you're a champion in your hometown, just know you're losing.
unless you're Naomi,
Oh,
Unless you're done. Well, no, well, she won it in her
overall-
hometown.
I thought it was a pretty good match, and I have to give Bailey credit because she sold that bump at the end so well. I thought she was busted open, to be perfectly honest. At the end, I really thought she was probably bleeding. I'm like, holy shit! But it was a pretty good match.
Yeah. Also, fun fact: this was our third championship match in a row.
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
My biggest takeaway from this, besides seeing Alexa Bliss get the title and being being one of the better heels, female heels, I think on both rosters, is that this is the Bailey that we needed to see. You can see like the frustration. If you watched NXT when they were building her up, it was all they did do the whole "oh, you're just Bailey, you're not good enough" angle, but you know the crowd got behind her, and even when it looked like she was had her back against the rope, she was just that fighting. Ooh, excuse me. She was always never back down, always willing to fight, and never giving up. And we got to see that in this match. I feel like in the matches with Charlotte, one, I think they were a little too rushed. I personally think she was rushed in getting the title, but Bailey, that is. But she never really sold that, she's a good guy, but when it comes down to work, she's gonna work. And I really felt that we saw that in this match.
Yeah, I got to give Bailey credit. She did. I totally agree with that.
I mean, I think it was it was a good technical match, and like you're right. I feel like the feud with Charlotte was rushed, and then they pushed her to SmackDown. And it's nice to see that now Alexa Bliss has a note to her name where she's the first ever SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion. So that's pretty cool to note. And she's a great heel. Like she does pull that off well.
Oh,
Where she goes from here though, I don't know. Like Bailey will obviously get another shot, a rematch. But is that where maybe Sasha Banks, like they'll say, like you can't do it without Sasha Banks, and everyone wants to see that Sasha Banks heel turn. Maybe we'll see that Bailey heel turn, saying like, listen, everyone thinks all because of you, I'm the champion, and I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough, and she'll turn on Sasha.
Sasha, yeah.
Because everyone
That-
expect. Yeah, because
That's fascinating.
everyone was expecting Sasha to turn, right? And they love that heel Sasha.
Mhm.
But isn't this like kind of like, I don't know? This has happened several times where everyone thought someone's going to turn, but the actual other person turns. Like with Austin and Rock at WrestleMania, right? We thought it was the Rock turning, but then Austin sided with McMahon and turned on him. And the whole thing with like Lex Luger and Tatanka back in the day, where like everyone thought, like was it Luger selling out Tatanka? So he sold out. Yeah. So I mean, that I don't think that turn has happened in a while. So I'd like to see that. Maybe have Bailey, but like the issue is that Bailey is like a John Cena. The kids love her, right? So
Yeah.
where does your merchandise sale go? All that kind of stuff. Like that. I hate that they're attached to that image of where you can't. I don't know.
You know what I'll say though? If Hogan can go heel, anyone can go heel because Hogan was loved. I mean, I was a Hulkamaniac in the late '80s as much as anyone. So
keep in mind, this is
him healed and Bret Hart heel.
This is a different era, though, Eric. This is different era. With the merchandise sales and all that kind of stuff.
True.
That's what they care about more than pleasing the mark, right? The wrestling fan.
That's true. And doing like a cool storyline. That's true.
Yeah.
And people would be upset about it. They would be like furious if they did do it. But I think it would be cool.
Well,
I would want to see it happen.
It'd probably be more the kids upset than the adults are. But let's see where this goes. I forget her name, but when Bailey was in NXT, there was always this one young girl who was there like at every NXT just to see Bailey because she was like her biggest #1 fan, and I forget her name, but yeah, she would probably be the biggest one that would be upset. But if that's the way they go,
they could show on camera and it'll make viral. Like the Miz girl, remember when the Miz won the championship? That girl, and then the time the Undertaker lost WrestleMania, that guy that they showed. That'd be so. Like yesterday, that I was about to bring that up when you said that. That happened last night when there's this girl dressed up in all Bailey attire, right? When Roman Reigns hit a spear and Braun Strowman kicked out, she's like, no, like she was like crying and she's all in Bailey attire. So girls like that who love Bailey, who dress like Bailey, their heart is gonna be broken if they would go that route. But I can't see them going that route exactly for the same reason Cena doesn't go that route. You know how many fans would love if Cena turned heel and went back to his old roots, but they won't do it because of merchandise sales and all that. Like that's ridiculous. I love what Miz did. I love how Miz played that whole Hollywood angle, like, oh, they're not going to be here because they're Hollywood now, and like how him and Maurice came out as John Cena and Nikki Bella. That was awesome, and like to see like them, a heel version of them, like how Miz and them portrayed it. For Bailey to happen, like that would be great. Like instead of Sasha turning, Bailey turning. But I love Sasha as a heel too. So
yeah, I guess either way would be good.
And you're right. The Hogan turn was in a different era where he was able to be in the NWO, and they sold a ton of merchandise, NWO merchandise. I had an NWO bandana back in the day, but it is a different time. You're right. The little kids would be very upset about it.
Yeah,
I would love to see it
back then like that.
Yeah, I miss those days. Oh.
Any last comments
on pretty good match?
Alexa? Yeah, I think it was a great match. I love seeing like my little Miss Bliss, and it's gonna be cool to see. I mean, where they go from there? Will they have the rematch? I think so. After that, I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but maybe if they pull that off with that Bailey heel turn that I said, you heard it here first.
I will give you full credit, my friend. Full credit on that. But yeah, this was the last match of the night that I really was like, okay, this was good. Then it kind of, for me, nosedived completely.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that brings us to our next match, or was it a television episode? I don't know what you want to call it. The House of Horrors match between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Now, going in, I remember messaging you guys saying, like, is this going to be like the Punjabi prison match? I hope it's better than that. Like some kind of gimmick. Gimmicks don't really go well unless they have some sort of precedent or something that is very similar to it. And, like, this, I don't know. Like, they didn't give any background on what a House of Horrors match would be. They said, I'll fight, House of Horrors match. They didn't say anything about what kind of gimmick it would, like, what kind of angle it would be. And then you knew, like, it wasn't going to be that great. And in fact, it was pre-taped, and it was just like Randy Orton saying, like, what the hell's happening or whatever going on, and then, like, him being attacked. And what the hell's going on, him being attacked.
Yeah, once I think it's JoJo who does the ring announcing. I don't care.
Yeah, she's the
once she said it would come back to the ring, I was like, I already knew I wasn't gonna like this. I already knew once she said that it was gonna be some pre-taped thing, that would ultimately end up in the ring. And it was just so awkward. Like this whole feud has been awkward, and it's nothing I've been interested in this whole time.
And about that, like, so we saw them like battle it out in a pre-tape segment in the House of Horror, whatever it was. It wasn't even that horrible either. The match was horrible. That was probably the horror of the House of Horror. Bray Wyatt leaves in a limousine, presumably with Randy Orton left in the house with a refrigerator on top of him. He gets to the arena. 2 seconds later, Randy Orton. How does he get to the arena that fast? Like,
I don't know.
This match was embarrassing. It was just an embarrassment. I made an egg salad sandwich during it because it was so bad. I mean, going back to like a different era, like when Undertaker faced Mankind in the Boiler Room Brawl, that was good because it was number one, it wasn't pre-taped, and number two, it made sense how to get to the ring. But in this case, it was just a complete and total mess. I hated it. It was terrible. I think they should be embarrassed because I think the gobbledygooker is somewhere laughing that he might not now be the lamest thing that WWE ever did.
Yeah, if it had happened the other way around, I could have been more on board with it because Bray Wyatt is supposed to be like the mystical whatever. So I would buy into like, all right, whatever. It's Bray. He can transport himself through time and dimensions. I don't know. But for Randy Orton, who's never been sold as that type of character or gimmick, it's like, what? Okay, or even if they just showed him like popping out of a limo trunk or house. Or something,
that's what I thought would happen.
I don't know. I don't know, but it was like,
even being a driver somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it would have been like, all right, I can sort of buy into it, even though I don't really care. But this was. I actually wasn't
terrible.
Wasn't really watching.
I have a question, Cal. Do you remember WCW Havoc 91, the Chamber of Horrors match?
I remember it, but I don't remember like what happened in that match.
When Abby got electrocuted, it was basically an electrocution chair in the middle of like this giant cage ring, and to win the match, you had to electrocute the opponent, and it was Abdul the Butcher. He got electrocuted.
Yeah,
that was cool. This was just
that can't compare. Like you know what this House of Horrors match compares to? It compares to that match they had in TNA with the Dudley Boys, and I forgot who they fought, like Abyss and somebody else, and it was like each side of the ring was electrified. So when they were thrown to the cage, like the lights would flicker in the arena, and they'd have a sound over the PA going. So like, and they tried to sell it, but it was so badly done, like it just looked terrible. That's what this match was like. And I would agree with Delisha. Like, if Randy Orton came out on top at the in the actual house itself, came back to the arena, and I expected Bray Wyatt to like not come back for the bell or whatever to forfeit the match, and him appearing out of smoke or something like that would have been great, and he could still have him win that match that way.
I will say one. Seeing this does make me nervous if they are able to do the broken Matt Hardy gimmick. I'm like, is this what we might get? I'm like, no, then let him stay Matt Hardy right now. But back to this match. I am glad that Bray won because he's the one who needed it the most. And that's all I'd say about this match.
It was just for me abysmal.
So the way he won, we'll talk about how he won, is that the Singh brothers came and jumped Randy Orton. Bollywood Boys, right? The Bollywood Boys came, jumped him, and Jinder Mahal came, and did he actually get in on the actual beatdown before the end of the match, or did he come jump after the match?
No, he just I think it was before the Sister Abigail. Yeah, because he came in and hit him with the title.
Yeah, and then Sister Abigail is put on, Bray Wyatt gets the pin, and then leaves, and then the beatdown continues. So finally, Indians are getting the spotlight because the whole deal with like I always tell Dubs when we're on Entree panel, Brown Pride, we're finally getting somewhere in the world. But like, what's happening is funny is because WWE is signing like a new deal with WWE India and trying to market it, so they want to have like because the last time they tried to do this with Great Khali, it didn't go over well. He was a terrible champion, couldn't wrestle, couldn't talk on the mic. They're trying to get that new, fresh look with Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood Boys. So that's why we see Jinder Mahal in the spotlight right now. And after this deal goes through and whatever happens, I don't know what's gonna happen with Jinder Mahal. He'll probably go back down to like pre-showing and all that. but this is one time in the spotlight. So I'm glad they're doing this and having him being like, we were talking about this on our last episode where like we need a good stable. And we have 3 people. We have like 7, like you have like 1.2 billion people in India. 3 people is not really a stable. It's more like how many people are like in the back of a taxi cab or something. I don't know. Like we need more Indians here. Like somehow pull them from I don't know where. But like an Indian stable should have at least like 37 people, in my opinion. So I'm sure you could bring some of those 1 billion over here. And just for people who are watching this episode, I'm Indian myself, so I'm just saying this as no offense to anybody, but I'm just saying this because I'm an Indian myself. So I'm glad to see Indians in the spotlight, and it's just funny that like this is happening. A side note on that is though. I have most of the WWE 2K games I've been playing for like my whole life, and I have my 2 friends that come over, and both their last name are Singh. They're brothers, and their last name are Singh, and they always double team me. So that this happening in real life is like they love it because they're like, this is what we do to you in the WWE games every year. Now it's actually translating to real life, so they and I can relate to this. So the Singh brothers team on me, and seeing this happen. So I'm like the Randy Orton in this situation, even though I wouldn't want to be. But it's great to see. So that was my little tangent there. But I mean, I'd like to see Jinder Mahal get some due.
He got some good heat doing that.
Yeah. But I feel like he's not going to go anywhere with this. I feel like it's just for that whole contractual deal that's going on. He's never going to get a push like this ever again. You know, and he's been like in the low card, the 3-man band, all that, like the League of Nations, whatever, all that stuff, like the low card stuff, and never ever going to get a push like this again, except for this contractual obligation thing going on.
I don't know. Vince McMahon like his big man, and Jinder bulked himself up. So maybe he might catch Vince's eye and be like, you know what, sir?
Like, do you guys remember? Do you guys remember Sanjay Dutt too from TNA?
Who's that?
Sanjay Dutt from TNA.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him as part of this. Like, if they ever sign him, have him. You know, he was a great ring technician. He could also go into the cruiserweight division as well. So, and then Davari too, like all these guys, they could put him into a stable.
He's actually good. He's good.
Baron, why are you trying to NWO all the Indians? Okay,
gotta have it, man. I gotta have something. You'll see me there. You'll come up the chair, hit him, and be like, "Finally!" With terrible sound effects and everything. I'll come out like have terrible sound effects, like hit him, and the sound effects come like 10 minutes later, and like dub everything, and we'll break into a song and dance throughout the match because that would be great.
That'd be cool.
Now just imagine you in the
For
ring
what
with
it's
the
worth, I
Bollywood
was a big
boys.
Tatanka fan back in the day.
Yeah, we'll take that Indian too, Native American. It's close enough according to WWE, right? So we'll take that too.
I was a big Tatanka fan. When his
I
streak
love
ended,
Tatanka, man.
undefeated streak, I was crying.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Ludwig Borga ended
I
that
know.
streak. I was like, oh.
See, we don't care about this house where we met so much that we're now talking about something totally different.
Okay, so the best part of that match was probably the end, but if we rewrote
Because it ended.
yes, if we rewrote that match, I think what Delisha was saying would have been so much better if Randy Orton came out on top in the actual house, thought Bray Wyatt wouldn't come back, and Bray Wyatt shows up in a cloud of smoke or some supernatural way. I think what they did at WrestleMania with the ring changing was cooler than the whole House of Horrors itself. You know, I mean, the fact that the referee jumped out of the ring was kind of stupid, but I don't know, like, I didn't like anything. It's nice to see that they incorporated, you know, the Bollywood boys and Jinder Mahal in it to continue that feud, but other than that, there's no bright spot about. So, I guess we'll move on to the next match.
Parental units needed to ask me something.
Sorry.
The parental unit.
So the next match is what? All right, so it was Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins. We thought
crap, I forgot about
I forgot about this match.
my prediction was that we would see
Al, is this when you fell asleep?
No, I think I did fall asleep during this too, partially.
Okay.
But like we talked about, like I remember during my WrestleMania prediction game, my prediction was that like Samoa Joe would come in and interfere, which would cause Seth Rollins a match, which would lead to this feud. Unfortunately, didn't go that way. But we had this match eventually. The build up I wasn't even fond of. The match I wasn't really that fond of. Nothing, you know. Samoa Joe is just not the same TNA Samoa Joe that we're used to. I'm just not
even the NXT Samoa Joe that we're used to.
Yep.
He's completely lost his luster. I was bored by
the great thing about TNA was
mostly because of him.
Yeah, the great thing about TNA was like he was more in shape. He had the whole fan base saying Joe's gonna kill that whole Joe's gonna kill you thing and all that, and nothing. Like she's got out of shape. He's just not the same personality. Nothing. Like he doesn't have the same oomph that he used to
It
have.
feels like a different person. It really does feel like he's a completely different person than he was on TNA, and
Mainly
it
because
hurts.
mainly because they're not giving him something to do. They're just he's just
That's
like
part of it. Yeah.
he's like Triple H's like hired gun, but Triple H isn't here, so it's like we don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Look, but even in NXT, he was still kind of like that hard hitting dynamic, and coming up to the main roster, he's doing what a lot of people fear what happens with the NXT talent is that they just get buried. Um, but I just didn't really care about this match. I didn't really care about Seth Rollins and his
We
high knee to the face, and I didn't care about
I was
this
bored.
feud.
we were talking about the having a stable like we had with Evolution, which I don't think is even a stable yet. But like the original like one big stable that known from back in the day, like our time, Eric, was the Four Horsemen, right? And there's four. I mean, there's more than four of them eventually, but it's known as the
Yeah.
Four Horsemen, right? And now they even bring
It
that
was
to
four at
the
a time.
the NXT, which is the Four Horsewomen and all that. So like Evolution had four people. Um, so like with Triple H, Samoa Joe, they could add somebody to that and make a stable kind of thing. And we were talking about that in our last episode. Like, why don't we get a good stable again? Like, it might be
Because
the Bollywood Boys and their Indian stable. Um, I don't know what it would be called, but
Yeah, I could.
Samoa Joe, if he's gonna be an enforcer, you gotta be an enforcer for a stable.
it's
Don't
just
just be Triple H's enforcer.
it's the only thing
Yeah.
is that when we were talking about that, it seemed they were going that direction with him, Samoa Joe, and Kevin Owens. And then after WrestleMania, you know, Triple H dropped off the scene, um, and then now Kevin Owens is on SmackDown, and then now it's like, what's left? What does Samoa Joe do? We have a babyface GM, so he doesn't really need Samoa Joe. Um, I don't know. Maybe him and Braun can team up and just wreck shit up. I don't know, but it's I don't know what they want him to do.
It seems like they don't want him to do anything. It's weird.
I
I don't get it, but hopefully they can come up with something good for him.
I can't see anything like going on with Samoa Joe anymore. I really think like if he's gonna be the enforcer for Triple H, they need to have a stable. That's it. That's all I can see. Because who can he feud with?
Yeah.
Maybe unfortunately, what's going to be the worst is they're probably going to put him off on Big Show to feud with Big Show, and Big Show doesn't deserve that.
Oh
Big Show is so much better. Like you saw
no.
the great matches he's had with Braun Strowman recently. Like of
I
all
love
people,
Big
I
Show.
want Big Show to have a good send off, not like not a Samoa Joe feud.
And he deserves a good send off because he's had a fabulous career. I've liked him from the very beginning, even back to the Dungeon of Doom days. But
Yes, as the
when they were
giant.
selling him as Andre's son, yeah. But yeah, I hope he has a better send off than that because he doesn't deserve a bad one.
Yeah,
He's a hard worker.
yeah. Big Show. He gets paid very well. Yeah, but
That's true.
with Samoa Joe, we just have to watch Raw this week and next week, or maybe in the coming weeks to see what they do with him. Because I don't see the Rollins Samoa Joe thing right now. At this point, I can't see it in the long run what that would do for either of them.
Yeah, I'm so like I don't even know what to say about Samoa Joe. Like I used to be a huge fan of his, and now I just want to see him not. I just see him as like you said, an enforcer, but it's got to be first table. That's all I can say about that. There's nothing else.
I would say that overall, besides the House of Horrors or whatever you want to call it, this was my least favorite match of the night.
And he he can't do the muscle buster anymore, right? Because of like a whole like injury thing. I think Sting complained about it, saying it's one of the most dangerous moves, and someone else also complained about being a very dangerous move. And that was like what he's known for, the muscle buster into the Kakito clutch. And yesterday you put him in a sleeper, and they're like, "Oh, it's a Kakito clutch." Until then, he's like, "No, now it's a Kakito clutch." Like it's like all even like sloppy with the way he did it and everything. So I don't know. His stock.
It's like I'm a big baseball fan. It's like seeing a player who you know is done, needs to hang up, just hanging
Yeah.
around. Don't
Well,
have it anymore. If it's a pitcher, they just don't have their same stuff, and it's they got to move on. And I think he needs to just pack it up because I just don't think he has it anymore.
I don't. I disagree. I don't think it's that he doesn't have anymore. I think it's that he doesn't know what this company wants to do with him. So maybe he's like,
Yeah,
all
that's
right,
part of it.
I'm gonna just do what you tell me, and maybe because they haven't really done anything with him in the main roster, to showcase him for what he can do. But like I said, we shall see. Now that, like I
Wait
was
and
saying
see.
before, now that Payback is over and we kind of got rid of these past feuds, man, now it's time we can focus on something new. So we'll see.
What I have to say about this is, have him go away. Right now, have him go away for a while. Maybe
But he-
come back as one of those Royal Rumble surprise entrances, right? And
That would be great.
have
I
him
don't.
get back into shape. You saw Big Show, how
Yes.
Big Show looks now. Big Show worked his ass off, and he's not doing anything, right? He's not doing anything except being thrown over the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal for like no reason. You know, he should have been feuding with Shaq, whatever the whole debacle that happened there. But he got into fantastic shape. He worked his ass off, and he's put in so much into this company. I feel like we both agree like he should get a great send off. But Samoa Joe, maybe Big Show could mentor him. Be like, take some time off. We'll work out together. We'll work together. We'll get him into shape, and he'll come back as a Royal Rumble surprise entrant, even a Survivor Series. Maybe as Triple H makes a team, and he'll need a fourth, fifth member, whatever it is, or four. I don't know how many they'll do a 4-man Survivor Series or 5-man Survivor, whatever they do. He'll need one white guy. He'll be the surprise, either surprise last member of a Survivor Series team, a in shape Samoa Joe, ready to kick ass, being an enforcer, or come back at a Royal Rumble in shape as a surprise entrance and be one of the last final 4 people in, just to push him that way.
Yeah,
You know what?
we'll
I
see.
do agree with Del, but I'm being a little too hard on him. The big part of the problem is they don't know how to use him, and I agree with your point. I think send him away for a while, let him get in shape, get himself together. I think Royal Rumble would be the perfect time to bring him back and do exactly what you said. I think that would be perfect. It can get him going. If he puts in the work, though, of course, to get back in shape, which I think he would do. But I do agree, send him away for a little while.
You know, he's a seasoned veteran, and I feel like he could still learn from people who are more seasoned, like Big Show, a big guy. You know, like Undertaker. Remember, Big Show's a pretty seasoned veteran when he came in to WWE, right? So I mean, he was green, but he was still like equivalent to what Samoa Joe was in TNA coming into WWE, right? In a way, and Undertaker is known to give Big Show shit to get his stories, like, to get his act together, to become like, he was there helping him out all the time. So Big Show loves the company as well. He could put the time in. If they're not using him, he could put the time in to help mentor some of these up and coming big guys like Big Cass and Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman. Like, look what he did with Braun Strowman in the last 2 matches they had on Raw, main eventing Raw. Fantastic. So Big Show can do that, and I could see him as Samoa Joe being a project for him. I would love to see that. That's where I see.
Yeah, I think that could totally work. It would be interesting to see. I agree with you about Big Show. He's paid his dues certainly, but I do like your idea of sending him away for a little while and bringing him back. I think that would really work.
Yeah, if we're
Sold on that.
if
You
we're
sold me.
if we're sending him away, I would do it for just a couple of months, not until Royal Rumble, which is kind of a little bit less than a year away. But
So you think Survivor Series?
I'm gonna be a Royal Rumble. That's the only reason I think. That's the only reason I said that.
Oh, we gotta go together because I think I'm gonna go this year too.
all right,
Oh, you're going
and-
too?
and-
We can all go. Did you guys buy your tickets yet or no?
no, are they on sale?
My friends are getting it in a group.
Well, did they buy like as 4 people, or like if they buy this?
I
You want to
talk
make
to them.
let
I'm
me
not
know.
sure how many people are going. I will.
going this year.
I'll let you know. When do you think the tickets are going to go on sale?
Probably around
Should
Survivor
be like
Series.
around SummerSlam. Oh, Survivor Series. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, because I got like a whole.
So yeah, I think like I really like Royal Rumble because that makes a bigger impact on a return. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's always that surprise entrant like in Royal Rumble, and everyone loves that. But like if D says like she doesn't want to have him as far away, can he get into shape by Survivor Series? He can. So will he?
Survivor
Yeah.
Series is what,
November.
November?
That's enough
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's more enough. Just
He's
do
got
it.
enough
And but
time,
like
yeah.
I wanted to come back the way I said it as
Remember, these people have trainers and all the top notch things. He can go for 8 weeks to be back in shape.
But like no, I want Triple H. I want to have a stable where they need like one big guy, and Triple H not knowing who his last member would be. But I think he's got to come back as a face. The crowd loved him as a face, and if Triple H is a face at that point,
True.
and he needs like, maybe Kurt Angle's getting out of hand and making like by that time Kurt Angle's getting out of hand. He's a heel now because people love Kurt Angle as a heel. He's a GM that's out of control, so Triple H got to come in and fix him by that time. Survivor Series time, his enforcer will be, because remember, Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle had a great feud back in TNA. We could see that again in Survivor Series. Survivor Series, if we have that.
Ooh.
That's why
I agree with Del. Maybe Survivor Series could work.
Yep, that's my second pitch.
I can see that working.
So the Sasha Bailey thing, and then now this. Write that down.
I like it. I like it. I started to saying, you should just hang it up, and now both of you convinced me. Send him away for a little while. Let him get in shape. Bring him back, and I think it could work. You convinced me. You sold me, both of you.
So that brings us to what happened in that match is that he had him in the Coquito clutch, and the shades of it was like Rowdy Piper versus Bret the Hitman Hart, where he did he rolled over on him and got him in the pin while in that sleeper hold. I thought he would let go and just kick out, but no, he pinned him in that. So Seth Rollins won that match over Samoa Joe, and like it was very uneventful.
That match. That's one of my favorite matches of all time.
So that brings us to our final main event of the evening, where I think it's the second year in a row where Roman Reigns is headlining Payback. I hate or love or hate
he tries.
Roman Reigns.
Tries so
he works
hard.
his ass off. He tries and he tries to sell everything.
I do give him credit.
So
Yeah,
he's a hard worker. I'll give him that.
I'm about to say I might get hate for this, but I like Roman Reigns as a worker in the ring. I think he does great work. And his mic skills has gotten way better. His post WrestleMania promo was the best I've seen him on the mic. Well, he only said
Because he said 3 words.
3 words.
Yeah.
But the timing of it was perfect.
Or 4. Or 4
yeah.
words.
Yeah,
it's
this
my
is
yard
my
now.
house. Yeah.
Whatever it
But
is.
the timing of it was perfect, but he puts in good work, and actually throughout the night, one of the biggest things was that the crowd was like was really good until the probably like the last 3 minutes. But the crowd was really good. They were into the match. They wanted Braun to just do what he does and just destroy him, which he did. But Roman got his looks in throughout the match. But of course, everyone is talking about the ending of him slamming him down on the steps, and I don't know if this was legitimately real or not, of him throwing up blood, but
I actually thought it was real, to be honest. He sold it well. I thought it was real at first.
I don't know. When it comes to WWE, I just don't know anymore. I just like, you know what? Until I hear like someone's out for like 6 months with like broken ribs, I'm like, I don't know if you're working me over or not.
Yeah. Now, back in the day when Papa Shango made Warrior throw up, I knew that wasn't real. I mean,
and he made his hair bleed too. Remember, his head started bleeding and like blood came down his head.
That was cool. I think the match was okay, but I just want to say I do respect Reigns because he works his ass off.
He sold every like hit well. He took every bump well, and he made Braun Strowman look strong. So
I am upset he didn't come out in a body cast, but that's just a small nitpick. No,
even like the match wasn't that bad compared to the rest of the matches. Some of the matches on the card. Yeah. This was probably like the 3rd best match on the card, I think, in my opinion. The way it went. So I can't complain. Like, and and then
I think the Chamber of Horror match. I think the Chamber of Horror match just like ruined the tone of the rest of the pay-per-view, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep during most of this match, but I do remember big bumps. I remember some good action. So like and the ending, how he beat him down at the end, that was great. I thought maybe
I was gonna say the biggest thing, Braun Strowman won a main event match. Like yes.
I feel that we're not gonna. Maybe they'll keep Roman Reigns off TV for a little bit too, possibly, or maybe they'll come back tonight, like saying update on Roman Reigns or something, something like that. But they should probably keep him off for a little bit so he can get that pop again when he comes back at the next pay-per-view. Maybe running in on a Strowman match, costing him a title match or something like that. I don't know what they could do. But
when they kept him off TV the last couple of weeks after he flipped over an ambulance, it was great. I mean, they really sold it, and I was really glad they didn't have him just come back that next week, but like, I'm gonna kick your ass. So So hopefully, I don't know if it'll be on Raw tonight or but yeah, maybe keep on TV for a little bit and but like I respect the dude. He's a hard hitting monster. But if anything, we have to keep Braun strong. We have to keep this momentum going. That's the main thing I need for this out of this match. I need them to keep him strong and keep him going and put him in that main event for the title contention at some point. Yeah, you know what? I'd rather see Braun versus Lesnar right now.
And then have Roman Reigns come out and cost him?
I don't know. I just want to see Lesnar and Braun go at it. I didn't like that they made Braun, like pussy out and like leave a couple weeks ago when Lesnar came out. I think it might have been that Monday after WrestleMania. And I was like, that doesn't sound like something Braun would do. But
I'd like to see him hold the title until like WrestleMania or something.
Brock?
Yeah, because I can't see anyone else beating him.
No, I don't want that. I mean, if we see him,
worthy right now to beat him.
If we see him more,
I don't think anyone's really worthy to beat him right now.
Yeah,
worthy of it. I mean, I hope he does hold. I hope he does hold at WrestleMania.
You want to see a big story win at WrestleMania. Someone overcoming the beast, like slaying the beast at WrestleMania. So
just like he did to the Undertaker.
Yeah. So you want to see because nowadays this is back like in the days like when Eric and I used to watch when they only had 4 pay-per-views. So they'd only have those championship matches at those 4 pay-per-views. Once in a while they have it a match at the house show and like how Bob Backlund lost to Diesel, and that was like the one big news.
And Brett beat Flair. Brett beat Flair at a house show. Yeah.
So, but you don't see that often, right? And so like if they go back to that kind of era where they don't defend the title as much, except for those big name pay-per-views, that would be better. I mean, even though he's defending at Great Balls of Fire, which isn't a big name pay-per-view. So, I mean, for him to hold, if he doesn't if he has that hard-time schedule and he holds it until WrestleMania, that would be good.
I'm about to say, Viren, you don't think the Kingslayer can slay the beast?
No. They made a Game of Thrones reference yesterday too at Payback. I was awake for that. He said like he's like Jamie. He's like Lannister did it with only one arm, and Seth Rollins did it with only one leg or one knee or whatever he said. And I was like,
I thought of you guys. I was like, ha! I know they smiled at that. I know you guys smiled.
But yeah, no, so what were you saying about that, Eric? About the part timing and the title?
Oh, what? Say it again.
What were you saying about the part time? Like you like to see that too with Brock Lesnar holding it until WrestleMania, and then having a champion finally slay him.
Because I want a build up of something great, and I want it to mean something memorable. And to do that, he has to hold the title, and they have to have someone worthy enough though to beat him.
Yeah.
So I hope they go with that, and they don't just have because he's a good performer. Now it's got me thinking though, who could potentially they build up to beat him?
Yeah, I mean, for me,
there's a couple choices.
For me, I don't mind the title not being in contention a lot. I mean, I kind of like that it's not like every week. But for me, I don't really. I just want it just has to be a good story. That's all I need. Like a movie. It's like I just need a good story, and it's not. You can't really do that in 2 weeks or 2 episodes of Raw. So if they do hold off for that to WrestleMania, I guess fine. But as long as that build up is there, that's what they've kind of been lacking with some of these big pay-per-view matches. Is that build up? They want to rush everything. So even
that's the key. The build up's the key.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why having those pay-per-views sporadically, having them not more spaced out was better than now having. But now that we have the brand split, we'll have that. We'll have staggered pay-per-views, so it won't be like a pay-per-view every 2 weeks of the same brand.
So back then, every pay-per-view felt like a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because it was so sporadic. So when they finally came on, it was like, oh my God, it's time after all these months and months and months of waiting. But then In Your House came along and kind of changed all that.
That's why we saw those long title reigns back in the day. And that's why when CM Punk did it, that was huge because he held it for so long, But we didn't see that.
Even going way back, like when Macho won the title the first time at WrestleMania 4, he held the title a year. He lost it a year later to Hogan. You had that kind of stuff, yeah.
Here's what I see. I don't think Braun Strowman is ready yet to hold a title. I don't think he deserves to hold a title. He's a great worker. He can't. He's not that good on the mic, but he's a great worker. Like just like Roman Reigns. I could see. I I can see. I want to see Brock Lesnar hold the title to until WrestleMania, and Balor work his way up the ranks through the year, back up to fight Brock at WrestleMania. But maybe we could do it in like a three-way against like Seth Rollins or something, like against Seth Rollins or somebody else. That way, Seth Rollins gets beaten, but not Brock, kind of thing. Because I remember Rollins is kind of who his injury is what cost Balor the title, right? He's the one who injured Seth
Yeah,
Rollins. So
I
having the ultimate win at WrestleMania against like three people, I mean like two other people, and not having Brock look weak would be the way to do it.
yeah, that was
Yeah, I could totally see that happen.
yeah. Well, Finn was gonna be my pick as I don't know about WrestleMania. I wasn't sure as a pick to go for it because he could be that ultimate underdog role, and I just want to see him come out in his demon entrance at WrestleMania. But yeah, that could work too because he never really lost the title, so maybe he's not due a rematch, but he definitely could be put in that contention.
But can you see him lose? I mean, can you see him beat Brock Lesnar cleanly?
I don't know.
No, I couldn't.
No.
Not clean now.
I don't know. Finn I just actually, and I know everybody wants this. I do kind of want to see him do the Bullet Club or Balor Club now. See that come to fruition. So, you know what? I was thinking maybe if Finn is the one who's going to contend for the title against Brock at SummerSlam, have him lose, be frustrated, and maybe turn him heel. And then that way we can link him up with Gallows and Anderson to get that click that we love that we've been dying to see ever since they all came over to WWE.
You don't even have to. You don't even have to have him lose. You can have him pull like the Stone Cold WrestleMania 17 card where he sells himself like to win the title. Like he sells his like faceness, his baby face status to win the title. That's like we said, like not win cleanly. So if he has the Bullet Club come up and help him win the title, it could be like, is he gonna join? Is he gonna join? But like at the end, ultimately he's joining because and they're gonna want to help him. Like then and Paul Heyman could be like, it took 3 men to beat the Beast, or whatever.
That
And
could work too.
or it could be like a three-way between him, AJ Styles, and Brock, and everyone thinks the Bullet Club's coming to help AJ, but they actually help Finn Balor win the championship. We could see that happen too.
Well,
And
AJ's on a different show now, so
no, but when come WrestleMania time, who knows what happened? Like
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
it could be like whatever happens. I don't put like distinct lines because we just saw what Bray Wyatt fight Randy Orton on a Raw pay-per-view for no reason whatsoever or any rhyme or reason, correct? So that would be a better match having like instead of Seth Rollins, like maybe that's one of the humps that Finn Balor climbs over to get to his WrestleMania match. He beats Seth Rollins to fight ultimately Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, and himself in the match. And the Bullet Club comes out thinking you're gonna save AJ Styles, but it's a Finn Balor heel turn and stuff like that. And then he could be like, it took 4 men to beat Brock Lesnar because the AJ Styles is involved as well. It was in the match as well. I just want to see the unexpected heel turn kind of thing with the Brock, Stone Cold back in the day, and the Tatanka, Lex Luger. That's the second time I've pitched that tonight.
They were the best. They were the best. Those heel turns.
The swerve heel turn.
The swerve.
Yeah.
Even when British Bulldog went heel on Raw, that was a big swerve. I was like, what? Turning on Lex? Like, what's going on here? But because it's so shocking, it's like sometimes you can see it coming, but when you can't, it's amazing when it happens.
Like you were saying earlier today, Eric, about the third man, the NWO third man. Who was going to be? And
everyone thought it was going to be Yokozuna, or I kept hearing her Bret Hart, and it was Hogan.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't mind shock heel turns as long as it fits the story. Like not just do it for shock value, but
yeah, I agree. It's got to fit the narrative. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so
Overall, there was it was a good match, the final match. But
The right man won.
the pay per view overall for me was weak.
I agree. I like so when it comes to giving it a grade overall, I think I give it a D. I didn't really like it at all. I mean, they had those three
I
great matches, but the House of Horror and the pacing of the pay per view itself was not good. They should have had like one of the better matches in the beginning, middle, and end. I mean, I don't mind the Roman Reigns match at the end, but maybe put the Hardys at first, and then have the Alexa Bliss match in the middle, or something like that. The way they paced it, like it really fell off for me. So I give
Yeah,
it.
I'd give it a D as well. But I mean, if the House of Horror match wasn't on, maybe I'd give it a D plus, possibly. But yeah, a couple matches hit with me, but it was mostly pacing problems and D for me. I can do better.
Will Delisha give it a D as well? We'll find out.
I I might have to go with that as well. Maybe the D plus C minus range, graded on a curve.
She's always so
Because
nice about it.
yeah, that's me. Because we did get those some three great matches, and they also seem to serve a purpose. People wasn't just winning for the sake of winning. The Hardys won, but you got that great heel turn from the tag teams. Braun won, which he should have, and he looked strong. Even Roman still looked a little strong, looked strong throughout that match too. There wasn't, a overall, ass kicking, even though he got his ass kicked at the end. But you believe that Strowman could hold his own. I mean, Roman could hold his own. Roman, why do they rhyme so much? And Bliss and Bailey, they did the really good job, and now Bliss is going to be a great heel work with her belt, and so that's because
That's great.
I'm still riding great on those matches, and the only like terrible match was that House of Horror shitfest, and all the other matches besides that were either okay or great. So that's why I give it the D plus C minus curve.
Give it
So
the D plus.
there you have it for the Payback recap for AfterMat. The next time you'll probably see us is at the Backlash recap. So Backlash is May 21st. So you'll probably see us the Monday around the 8 p.m. time. Monday, May 22nd for the Backlash, which is the first SmackDown brand pay-per-view after the shakeup. So before we sign out, I'd let you guys promote what you got to do. So Delisha, go ahead.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Delisha_Renee, RENEE, DELISHA_RENEE. And you can also find me writing articles for Odd Shade Panel on their site, and you can go check out their Twitter for all that information as well.
Go ahead, Eric.
You can find me, of course, on Twitter at mmkoch. That's Koch, KOCH 200, and you can find me on the Odd Shape panel. I call in often. You can find me. I just did Morgan Robbins, our friend Morgan's Horror House podcast, talking all things 80s horror. And I do video reviews for Game of Thrones, which I will be resuming when that comes back in July. So all that good stuff. Find me on Twitter. Let me know what you think.
As for me, you can find me at Viren Jadeja Vu on Twitter, as well as at Night's Watch Tube, which is my Game of Thrones recap show, which I'm sure you'll see Eric on. I also at AfterMat _Matt for this show. So those are the three Twitter handles. You could subscribe to all three of our YouTube channels. Mine's at Kingslayer. Eric's, I think, just his name, right? Eric, and then Delisha too. It's just Delisha Renee, right?
Yeah.
So it's just our names, but mine's at Kingslayer on YouTube. So subscribe to all three of our channels. Subscribe to our Twitters. Follow us on Twitter. Yeah, you can all. I think I'm gonna start writing for the Odd Shape Press as well. Writing wrestling pay-per-view recap report cards. So whatever grade I give, you'll probably see Delisha give a grade and a half higher or something like that with her niceness. So, but we're gonna link that to the AfterMat show. So I'm probably the first writing is gonna be with Payback because I think that's the season premiere of the new season. The season usually ends at WrestleMania if you think of it as like a TV show. WrestleMania is the end of a season. So I'll probably start with the WA Payback. So that'll be on Odd Shape Press. And tomorrow night I'll be co-hosting with Tom from Odd Shape Panel. We're going to be doing a recap show of American Gods. called American Odds. So tomorrow, I think around 9 p.m. on YouTube, check out Odd Shape Panel's Twitter at Odd Shape Panel, I think it is, or maybe Odd Shape Channel on Twitter. I'm not sure which. They're gonna kill me for not remembering, but it's linked under my Twitter as well. You'll see it on my Twitter as well as Delisha and Eric's Twitter.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say I love the season premiere of that, by the way.
yeah, it was a good show. So I'm sure we'll see you tomorrow.
Watch.
We'll see you guys tomorrow on that. So 9 p.m. tomorrow on YouTube on the Odd Shape channel. We'll talk about American Gods. The show is called American Odds, so make sure you tune on to that. So until Backlash recap, which is going to be AfterMat 3, this is Delisha the Glamazon.
Bye, guys.
Eric the Hitman.
Bye.
And the People's Champ Cal signing off. We'll see you at our Backlash recap May 22nd. Later, guys. Hope you enjoy. Subscribe to all of us.